How do you love a life that you've always hated? This is a question I've asked myself many times over the years, and I can honestly say that I more recently feel as if I was given the answer to that. I know that the first step in learning to love and be grateful for a life that you've been given is first to learn to forgive everyone in your life, learn to love yourself. But there's another step to it. I've learned to love myself more than I ever have my entire life, but where I struggle, where I'm at, is trying to find gratitude for this life that I was given. On my feed, I always have all these videos coming up, manifestation coaches, spiritual teachers, and they talk about, gratitude being so powerful. Give gratitude for this life you're given. And when I think of that, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, what am I really grateful for? I wish I never came here. In 2013, when my mom passed away, it made me evaluate my whole entire life up until that point. And what I saw was someone that was serving a life sentence in prison. Not a physical one, but a mental one. I was free to walk around, but I was constrained by my own thoughts, nowhere to run and hide. And I just saw someone that was always struggling, always down. I thought of growing up when my parents were always fighting. The time my mom punched a hole through my bedroom door with a knife, and I could just feel my heart ripping in half. And then I'd go to school, get punched in the face, and then I'd go into class and struggle to learn, and then I'd go home and repeat it all. And then when I turned 19, I became an alcoholic for over a decade so I could drown out the pain of my reality. In 2013, when my mom passed away, I looked at my life and I came to the conclusion that there was nothing that I've experienced that was worth continuing on. And so a year later, after feeling like this every single day for 13 months actually, I decided to end my life by starting my car in my garage, and that's when Archangel Michael appeared. And ever since then, I've had all kinds of visitations from Jesus, archangels, out-of-body experiences, ETs, Lucifer, all this stuff I've been shown. And I still struggled to have gratitude for this life. I was shown straight up that the anger that I was carrying in my heart was going to get me to a place in the afterlife that I know I didn't want to be in. And, I learned, even though it took a long time to love myself, where I struggled was finding gratitude for this life. And so I was watching this video come up on my news feed, and this woman was talking about how she left her body and went into the presence of Jesus and was walking through the beginning stages of hell. And because of the things that I've experienced, what she was saying resonated with me as truth. And she was just describing how they were walking down this path, and there was all this lava beside them with these beings in it that had these maggots going through their skin, and they were just screaming and crying for help from Jesus because the pain was non-stop and they weren't capable of dying. And this one being just asked Jesus to help him, and he said, I showed you the way in the physical world, and you need to suffer the consequences of the pain you've caused on planet Earth. And when I saw that, I was just like, okay, Jesus, I need your help. Like, what the fuck? How do I start to be grateful for this life that I was given? And I was basically shown that the permission that I was giving myself to replay these things in my head over and over that were bringing me down was creating this gap from where I was to where I wanted to be. So if you are someone that is struggling to love this life, you have to ask yourself, what are you constantly playing in your head that's bringing you down? Step one to loving this life, you first have to love yourself. That's a whole nother journey. But once you get there, you might not necessarily still feel gratitude for this life. And I was shown straight up that the negative thoughts that I was playing in my head over and over and over were causing this. What do I mean by this? Well, the more visitations that I had from beings like Jesus and angels, I was shown that suicide's no longer an option for me because of where I'm going to go, where I'll go in the afterlife. And so I started to think about, who in their right mind would sign up for a reality like this? And the more visitations I had from angels and Jesus, the more past life memories I had come back to me. And I had a memory come back to me being a soul before I incarnated here, and talking to one of the salesmen that gets souls to come down here on planet Earth, and the things he told me compared to what I feel are true were two different things. And so I would give myself permission about once a day to picture myself astral projecting to where this being was, and grabbing him by the back of the head and slowly sticking my sword into his throat, right? I would give myself permission this because I'm like, okay, you lied and were condescending and deceived me into coming into this life. That's an act of war. So I gave myself permission to do this. And I also gave myself permission to say things like, this life fucking sucks. And then I pay attention to how that feels. And I was shown, if you're going to give yourself permission to say things like this life fucking sucks, if you're going to give yourself permission to astral project and stab some fucking angels in the throat that deceived you, or some beings, that you're going to create this separation and you're never going to close that gap. So if you're struggling to love a life that you've always hated, you have to stop giving yourself permission to replay these things, even if you feel they're valid. I got lots of valid bullshit going through my mind that I'm no longer going to allow, just because once I become conscious of these thoughts and how they make me feel, I realize they're not serving my higher self, my highest good. So try this out, become conscious of your thoughts, and do not allow these negative things to replay in your head over and over. You might be wondering, how do you do that? You're in control. And once you realize that and you're just like, enough's enough, that's when they'll stop. So hope this helps. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.